So I don't really even know how to start this video, but I guess we'll start with Happy New Year and hello. And I am back, sort of. Um, I am not really sure how many months it's been since I last posted. I did record over the last few months, and I very promptly deleted those videos or decided that they were not worth posting for various reasons. So the long story is too long to tell. So I will come back to that another day. I am calling this a slow roll into vlogging again, or at least sharing my story, my life, pieces of me on the internet. I failed in many ways in 2025, chief among those failures being that I did not really meet the goals of my no/low buy. Although I did meet my savings goals, it was not in the way I would have liked. The cats are still as rambunctious as ever. I will go into that in a video, but that's not what this video is for. This really is just kind of a very brief reintroduction. So hi, if you're still around, I'm going to be back in the best way that I know how, which is at least a couple times a month. Maybe a little bit more, but I would like to at least post once or twice a month. Just kind of get back into the habit of posting again, because I really do enjoy vlogging. I do enjoy the creative aspects of learning how to do video editing and playing with my cameras and doing all that mess. But in terms of having fully edited videos and stuff, I'm not really there right now. So this is probably going to be a very rough cut too. So sorry, but this is what we're getting right now. Essentially, I had a really good June, and I know I posted stuff from June, and I believe I posted a little bit maybe in July, but I don't know what happened after July, because I went into a very deep depression, and that's why those videos kind of are gone. They're just deleted. I didn't save them. I didn't keep them. I did record, and I did talk about all the things that had happened just as a self-soothing therapy, I guess, but I did not feel like that I was in the right headspace to post those, and I didn't want to put that negativity out into the world. But I will say that I did not get the job that I applied for, and it kind of sent me into a spiral in a way that I did not expect to happen. I didn't think that I was so attached to that position, or what, the persona, I guess, that would have come with it, and it sent me into a very long, very deep depression that I've only really started to come out of in the last month or so, and for that I'm very grateful. But it's also been something that led to kind of a reimagining of myself, a reinventing, if you will, of my role, not just my who I am at work, but literally my role at work, because it also meant that the position that I held for the last nearly 11 years is no longer the position that I hold. I hold a slightly different position now, and so a lot of stuff happened, and a lot of stuff that was out of my control. And normally I'm okay with change, but this time there's just so much stuff, and in the world and in our country and at work and at large, and it all just kind of came together into this maelstrom of just uncertainty and just lack of direction, and I kind of just gave up on a lot of things. So a lot of things just literally were abandoned along the way, not least of which was the whole no/low buy. I did engage in some, I guess, semi-negative shopping habits, but honestly, at the end of the day, I have no regrets, because anything that I bought in that moment was serving a purpose or bringing me joy or whatever. I have scaled back, and it's fine now, but I probably shopped harder than I have in a very long time, and it was definitely a self-soothing mechanism. I'm not in debt or anything, so in terms of my actual financial values, I'm still fine. I'm good. But that will be a longer video eventually, but not right now. All that to say, like I said, I met my savings goals, but not in the way I would have wanted them to. And some things have just kind of been shelved for the time being. I am kind of like slow rolling back into sort of more of a less stringent low buy. I don't think I will ever be a no buy girly. I don't think that is ever going to be me. The categories that I said no to, I very quickly realized I'm just not a no type of person because I don't see the reason to be. Like, I'm not in dire circumstances and I don't feel the need to completely deny myself all things. So, um, if that's a disappointment, I'm sorry, but it's not for me. It's just a realization that I had. So, that's where we are in that right now. The other major failure, I did not publish my book. So, um, I had initially and for a very long time planned to publish in November. That had been my intended date. But once everything kind of hit the fan in July, and I really just felt myself sinking more and more into this very dark place, not so dark that like anything dangerous would have happened, but like just like in the sense of not wanting to do much, like completely apathetic to a lot of things that I normally considered like, just my passions in life. So I did not want to write and I did not want to edit, and I could not wrap my mind around doing that. And though I would like open the draft and sit down, I just could not get any work done. Like I just was not getting there. It wasn't until honestly December that I really started getting back into writing. So I will say that for now, I am coming back into it. I am done with book one. I just have to like do the final like read through proof formatting of it. And I am done with the like full round, like front to back edit of book two, and that's ready-ish. I have to like, make it look readable, remove notes and, accept changes and all that so I can send it to my betas. But that is also complete. And I'm kind of gearing up to do the first full read of book three and kind of like plan my editing process for that one. But in terms of getting it published, it just didn't happen. I wasn't there mentally. I could not wrap my mind around opening a business when I was still worried about so many other things. And I just, like the idea of trying to get all this work done when I just wasn't happy, it just didn't feel right. So I decided to just hold off because I would rather be in a better headspace to tackle that, because if I told one of my friends, like if it flops, at least it's my flop. But I kind of want, if it flops, I want it to flop in a time where at least I am mentally stable enough to accept the flop. So I did not want to put it out at the time. And right now I'm debating, and I think I have a date. I gave my writing group a goal of having like what I consider the package, like the draft of the cover, the insides, like what the thing will look like as a book, done by March. And so that is my sort of like soft deadline for like getting it to look like a book. And in terms of like publishing it, as I was just kind of journaling out some thoughts today and like writing out a rough outline of my, next few quarters, I think I have a date. I think it's a meaningful date for me. It's not November, but I think it will have more meaning, at least for me, than the original date did. And I think that because I am in a much better place right now and I feel much more optimistic, I'll have a better time putting it together. So I feel like sometimes things happen for a reason, and maybe all the things that happened last year, even though in the time they kind of felt pretty awful and I felt pretty awful about them, maybe they all happen for a reason. And I think even now things are starting to align, and I'm seeing even the job from a different perspective as other things are happening within my organization. I'm like, you know what, bullet dodged. And sometimes things happen in the moment, and like I said, you don't realize that maybe it's for a better reason. Like maybe there's something else. And I like to remain cautiously optimistic about the future. So hopefully things will improve. But yeah, like right now I'm like, you know what? Maybe this all happened for a reason. Maybe the book was not supposed to come out in 2025. 2025 was an awful year. 2026 not looking that great in terms of like a lot of the stuff happening right now. But within the microcosm of my life, 2026 is at least feeling like a better year than 2025. And I want to kind of ride that wave. So book news, updates, and stuff to come throughout the year as I work on it. And financial stuff, I will eventually at least do a yearly wrap up. I don't have numbers for most of those months in the late fall and into winter because I did not track. I just lived because living was the best I could do, and I did not focus too much on keeping up with the numbers or tracking receipts or anything, but I have started tracking again now in January. And, you know, having goals and stuff like that. My goals are simple this year. My main, like, I gave myself very low, kind of like just finding joy goals this year, one of which is to go to a new boba or coffee shop place every single month. That's like just one of my small, I gave myself some low key, like fun activities that I wanted to do, and that's one of them. I also want to engage with my entire box of crafty things that I've been meaning to get to for the last year and a half, some of those projects. So every month I'd like to at least work on one of those. I'll probably record those as well. I had a lot of fun doing that last year, not 25 but 24 when I did Vlogmas, just like recording my crafting sessions. So that's another small goal that I have. And just enjoying reading and going to coffee shops and doing a lot of the things that I kind of denied myself for a while there for X number of reasons, and just kind of enjoying life. So that my real goal right now is just to find joy in whatever way I can, whether it's a small way or just doing something with a family, going out, enjoying a walk, whatever. But like being really present in the moment and enjoying things. Um, I know that at one point I spoke about last year how I lost a friend. I lost another friend this summer, and that also contributed to a lot of like the the sense of what is anything for, that I went through. But I think also in losing friends, especially like young friends, it kind of does put you back into that perspective of you kind of got to enjoy life. And sometimes that means, not depriving yourself of everything, even if there are other areas where you could, put those $5 towards. Sometimes a coffee is worthwhile, and enjoying a coffee with a friend and a book or whatever, is worth the money. So that's some of the perspective I gained last year as well. But not to end on a downer, I am happy. I am enjoying myself more, and I am looking forward to doing more things this year that just bring me comfort and joy, in addition to getting the book done. I need to remember that it's not all about work, it's not all about writing, and I've been doing a lot of that type of change in my life over the last few months, particularly like hanging out with friends, hanging out with family. I've been making a point of reaching out to friends more. So if you're watching this and you have a friend that you haven't reached out to in a while, send them a message, send them a text, send them an Instagram post, whatever. Just like reach out and say, hey, how are you doing? Want to hang out? Maybe, just have a chat. I think there's real value in reconnecting with people, especially folks that maybe you don't see every day and you just kind of can't get together with. So I hear somebody at my door now. So that is all for today. Bye.